Hello, welcome to episode 32 of the Epic Film Challenge 2, 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. Brian DePalma's The Untouchables. This is a true story about a group of people who in Chicago, during the era of Al Capone, were tasked with kind of taking the guy down and kind of getting him convicted, because Al Capone was running roughshod over Chicago at the time and was just making money hand over fist with all these illegal activities, but he kind of was getting away with it. And so there was a group of men, a team that was put together, dubbed the Untouchables, when they refused to be paid off by Al Capone's mob, I suppose, and they kind of seek to bring him down. That's what the film's about, and it's a great film. I really love this. Like, everything about it was really enjoyable, from the period look of the film that really felt like the 30s, and the costumes. And there's a great shot of one of the main streets of Chicago, and they've decked it out with all these 30s cars and stuff, and it just looks so convincing and grand and fitting of the era, I think. You have Rob DeNiro playing Al Capone, which is just phenomenal. I mean, he's not in the film that long, maybe only about 15 minutes from, overall, but still, he makes his presence known. And I remember watching the film, I was like, man, Robert De Niro's done so many great films, and it's been great. I mean, I know some people don't think he's great in this, but I really enjoyed his performance as Al Capone. Connie was kind of watching a bit of it, and she said, I was thinking he's acting a bit like Robert De Niro. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, that she thought that he was acting like Robert De Niro. You can make up your own mind on that one and have your own opinion on it, I suppose. But the rest of the cast is great as well. So you got Robert De Niro, then you got Kevin Costner, who plays kind of the guy who's spearheading this campaign to take down Al Capone, and then you have Sean Connery, who plays an older cop who Kevin Costner's character comes across, and he asks him to join the team because it seems like he's got a lot of experience. Sean Connery's initially against it, but he decides to join him and take up the cause, and he's kind of almost like the mentor role in the film. And it's just a solid cast all around. There's some great supporting parts and stuff. But what's the other guy's name? He was in I've forgotten his name. What's his name? He was in Godfather Part 3. I completely forgotten his name. And he was good in the film as well. And I just Andy Garcia. There we go. I mean, there's some really great moments in the film that just really shocked me. I didn't realize it was going to be as kind of, I guess the Americans would say, R-rated as it was. The violence is very extreme. Well, not extreme, but it's quite graphic. There's a point where someone gets shot, and I'm sure I saw a bit of brain on the wall behind him. It must be an 18 rated film in the UK, but I loved how the violence was graphic, but it was not throughout the whole film. It was where it needed to be, and it really gave those deaths in the film impact. And just, I don't know, just seeing like people get shot and the squib pops, it's so much better than this CGI blood shit you get in films these days, and it just felt more real, and I loved the score. The score was great. DePalma's direction was fantastic. He's a great director who I don't consider one of my favorites, but I love almost every film that I've seen him direct. And he always seems to make different kinds of films, and this is another different kind of film. And there's a fantastic kind of ode to Sergei Eisenstein's Battleship Potemkin, the Odessa Steps sequence in that film. Classic silent film, and this big massive revolution going on, and there's these guards storming down these steps and shooting the innocent public, and there's a baby carriage rolling down the steps. It's one of the great scenes in film history, and they kind of did a big homage to it in The Untouchables, with a baby cart going down the steps of a train station during a pivotal moment. That scene was just incredible. So well directed, so well executed. Again, the performances were really good. Sean Connery won an Oscar for this, I think, and well deserved. He was brilliant in the film. Yeah, just great lines, great dialogue, and great moments. There's a amazing bit. I don't even want to spoil it actually, but just Sean Connery is just great in the film, and I highly recommend it. It's just, as far as like a gangster kind of film, and taking down the bad guys, but with a kind of, a true story behind it as well, and someone like De Niro bringing so much life to a real life character like Al Capone. I mean, he really was someone who was just a character, like a real standout person. When I say stand out, I mean that he stands out from the crowd, not that he's like a stand-up guy. You just have those people who You know, like a Donald Trump. He is a real character, and that same can be said for Al Capone. Just someone who, you know, really needs to be brought to life by someone like Robert De Niro, who can really bite his teeth into a character like that. Maybe he was chewing the scenery a bit, I don't know, but I really enjoyed him in the film. And there's one part of the film I didn't love. There's a character who gets thrown off a building, and you see the stuntman falling, and it's like, whoa, and then it cuts like a close-up, and he's like, oh, and it's like really badly, like a real bad effect, and it's like, oh man. Like they have the stuntman crashing through, you know, wherever he lands or whatever. I'm not going to spoil that bit, but I mean, you had the stuntman doing the fall off the building and then landing, but you didn't get the middle bit in between, and so you did a fake kind of, and it just looked terrible. It was a real shame, but it wasn't enough to take any points away from the film. I loved it. Is it a film you must see before you die? Absolutely. Just really enjoyable, but there's a serious edge to it and a hard edge to it, and it's unforgiving in terms of the violence that is taking place due to the circumstances with the film, which is Al Capone and his mob and everything that they're doing, and then the Untouchables trying to take them down. And yeah, just some real tense. There's a great scene where Kevin Costner comes home from work one night, and he's got a present for his daughter, and there's just a guy sitting outside his house in a car, and he's saying, you need to be careful. You know, just like, and then he drives off, and Kevin Costner's like, shit, and he runs into the house. You know, just tense moments like that where it's, you're guessing what is going to happen. They're going to take it further. You know, there's like a bit where De Niro, as Capone, is talking about Kevin Costner's guy. He's like, I want him dead! I want him dead! You know, and he's just like, he goes on this massive tirade, you know, something like, I want to burn his house to the ground, I want to piss on the ashes. Like, he goes full on, like he really wants Kevin Costner's character just obliterated, so you know that there's that level of threat where the force of Al Capone is after this guy, so the stakes were always really high, and so it always kept me kind of like, oh, what's going to happen, how's this going to end? And I wasn't even sure that it was a true story, but the way that it was playing out for some reason just felt like it was. I looked it up afterwards, and it was based on a true story. Not exactly true characters, and the Untouchables team apparently was much bigger than it is in this film, where it's kind of depicted like 3 or 4 guys kind of took down Al Capone. But yeah, I love the film. Definitely a film you should see before you die. And thanks for watching.